Hey, good morning, everyone. We'll be talking about Union Security Clause, no? So, as a continuation of our discussion on labor relations laws, courtesy of the Legal Education Board. Okay? So, in 2009, for examination, there was a question. Explain the impact of the Union Security Clause to the employee's right to security of tenure. Of course, we have already discussed what do we mean by the right to security of tenure, right? That's the right of every employee not to be dismissed without just or authorized cause and in the absence of due process. But what about the Union Security Clause? A Union Security Clause is a stipulation. It is contained in the collective bargaining agreement. So a collective bargaining agreement, of course, we have already discussed that. It's a contract between the employer and the bargaining union, and it has the terms and conditions of employment, no? Yung mga benefits, privileges, as well as disciplinary measures. Now, this union security clause is in the collective bargaining agreement. Okay? Of course, it's a contract between the employer and the employee that imposes certain terms and conditions when an employer would hire or dismiss employees. You know, the CBA is good for 5 years, right? And in 5 years' time, a lot of things may happen. Hmm. May magre-resign dyan na empleyado, so kailangan palitan. May magre-retiro dyan, kailangan palitan. May tatanggalin si employer, so may papalit. At may kukunin si Lord. Huwag naman sana, no? Ngayon, pag nangyari yan, the employer has to replace the employee. Now, ano ang epekto nito doon sa bargaining or contracting union? Ulitin natin, ha? Pagka nagbabargain pa lang yung union sa employer, bargaining union siya. Bargaining representative. Maraming terminologies na itinatawag dyan. Now, nagkaroon na sila ng CBA, ang tawag na dyan ay contracting union. Pero nagpapatuloy siya na bargaining agent or bargaining representative. Okay, malilito dyan. So, anong epekto ng pag-hire ni employer ng bagong empleyado doon sa status ng contracting union? Okay? At yun yung tinatawag na Union Security Clause for those who may have forgotten. Now, Union Security Clause according to the Supreme Court is a generic term. It applies and comprehends like close shop, union shop, maintenance of membership clause. These are the common union security types or clauses inserted in the CBA. So ano ang purpose nito? The purpose is to protect the union and shield the members from whimsical and abusive exercise of management prerogative. Diba? Kasi baka mamaya ang tatanggalin ni employer ay members ng union. Of course, nandun sa union security clause yan na pwede naman tanggalin if there's a violation of the union security clause. Now, union security clauses would grant benefits to the union, and it will ensure self-preservation. Bakit? Depende dun sa union security clause, dadami ang members ng union or hindi pwedeng umalis yung mga miyembro niya. Yan ang epekto ng union security clause. Now, tinanong noong 2015 bar exam, distinguish between a close shop clause, nasa CBA yan, and a maintenance of membership clause. So ano ba ang kaibahan yan? Let us first discuss a closed shop. In the case of Peacock versus Dikilia, the Supreme Court said that a closed shop may be defined as an enterprise in which by agreement between the employer and his employer or their representatives, ayan ang problema dito yung definition, di ba? So yung closed shop clause or agreement is a contract in or a term or provision inserted into the collective bargaining agreement whereby whenever there is a vacancy for whatever cause, the employer may hire somebody, but that somebody must be a member of the contracting union. Okay? So let's say, for example, you have 3 unions operating in your screen. You have 3 unions operating. Itong si Union A, B, and C. And Union C is the bargaining or contracting union, the bargaining representative. Siya yung contracting union, siya ang may CBA with the management. And we all know that the CBA is effective for 5 consecutive years. Okay? The employer would like to hire a new employee to replace the old one. Sabi nga natin, may namatay, may nag-resign, may nagretiro, may tinanggal. So, kailangan palitan. Yung ipapalit na new employee must be a member of Union C. As you can see on your screen, that is a closed shop. So yung membership with the union is a condition prior to hiring. Is that not unfair labor practice? Ay, hindi ba ito unfair dun sa ibang unions like Union A and B? Ay minority union sila eh. And the law authorizes this. And to add to that is the fact that the CBA has been ratified by the majority. In a democracy, the majority wins. Hindi ba? Kaya kahit na ayaw mo, if you belong to the minority, you have to abide by the decisions of the majority. Parang election lang yan. Di ba? Alam mo naman na itong mga kandidatong ito hindi naman qualified dun sa mga posisyon. Eh, ang problema natin, may suporta ng majority. So, minority ka lang. Kaya kahit na ano yung pagrereklamo mo, hindi ka mapapakinggan kasi minority ka lamang. Di ba? Although, napakinggan din naman paminsan-minsan, kaya lang mananalo pa rin yung majority. And that's the reason why nagkakaroon tayo ng election to look for the majority union. Kaya kahit yung nanalo hindi mo gusto, wala kang choice kundi sumunod ka. That's democracy. Okay? Oh, the new employee must be a member of Union C. In our example, Union C is the bargaining representative, also the contracting union. Siya yung may CBA with the management. Paliwanag tayo dyan, ha? We will be using the same example for the rest of the other union security clauses. Okay, so remember this. Okay? Now, what about maintenance of membership clause? In the maintenance of membership clause, whenever the employer would hire a new employee, the union does not care. Okay? What the union cares about is that the members, the employees who are already members of the contracting union must remain members of that same union for the duration of the collective bargaining agreement. That means within 5 years. Okay, pag umalis siya, for whatever reason, na hindi naman siya in-expel, siya lang ang gustong umalis, that is a violation of the Union Security Clause, and that might be a ground for dismissal. Well, unless na-promote siya or na-transfer siya sa ibang unit, diba? Valid yun. Pero yung aalis lang siya at gusto niya lang umalis simply because he wanted to leave, ay hindi po pwede yan. That's a violation of the Union Security Clause. Okay? Ngayon, there are others like Union Shop Agreement. In a Union Shop Agreement, remember our example, ha? Union C is the contracting union. Okay? In a Union Shop Agreement, the employer is free to hire anyone even if not a member of Union C. But that new employee is given a grace period, a time in which he needed or she needed to join the contracting union. In our example, it's Union C. Okay? So let's say, Pedro, i-hire kita, sabi ng employer. Member ka ba ni Union C? Ay, hindi po. Hindi ko pa ho alam yun. Okay, so I'll hire you, but within a month, you must join Union C. That's Union Shop, also known as limited closed shop or modified closed shop. Bakit modified closed shop? Kaya sa closed shop, pagpasok mo, dapat miyembro ka na kaagad eh. Pero dito, kahit pumasok ka hindi ka miyembro, but you have to be a member of the contracting union. In our example, it's Union C. Maliwanag tayo. Now, what about agency shop? In an agency shop agreement or clause, the union does not care about how or who will be hired by the employer. Okay? So that the new employee is free to join the union or not to join the union. But for every benefit that he derives from the collective bargaining agreement, sensya na umaatake yung ating allergic rhinitis. Okay? So, for every benefit that he derives from the CBA, kasi magiging member siya ng bargaining unit eh. Hindi lang siya member ng bargaining representative. So ito yung mga kalituhan sa labor law that we are trying to simplify. Ano? Hinire itong si Pedro. Ulitin natin yung pangalan. Hindi, nasa Metro Manila na. So Peter na ang pangalan niya. Ano? Peter was hired by the employer. He need not join Union C if he does not want to. But if he wants to join, he may join. But it's not a requirement. Okay? However, since he's a member of the bargaining unit, he benefits from the CBA. He must pay agency fee. How much? Well, we already talked about that in Article 250 in our previous discussion. Diba? So how much? It's equivalent to the membership fee being collected by a check-off by the employer from the members of the union. Excuse me. Excuse me po. Ayan. Oh, maliwanag tayo dyan. Bakit kailangan niya magbayad? Nakikinabang siya eh. Hindi po pwede dito yung mga free riders or mga hitchhikers. Yung nakikisakay lang. Maraming ganyan sa panahon ngayon, nakikisakay lang. Parang sa jeep, di ba? Pagbayad mong ganun, yung iba, walang pabayad, uupo doon sa gitna. Naobserbahan natin minsan yan pagka nag-jeep tayo. Kaso ngayon, di na ako nag-jeep. Naglalakad na lang ako. Masyadong mahal ang jeep. Pagbayad, iaabot niya. Tapos, sukli. Mamaya, bayad. Mama, bayad do. Mamaya, sabi niya, mama, para ho. Hindi yung driver, hindi na alam. Nagbayad ba talaga yun? Nalilito na siya. May mga malituhin ganyan. Pero may mga driver na eagle-eyed kung tawagin. Alam niya kung sino yung hindi nagbayad at sisingilin niya talaga. Di ba? Yun yung nag 1, 2, 3 daw. Pero meron pa diyang mas malupit, yung 4, 5, 6. Hindi nga nga nagbayad, naningil pa ng sukli. Aba malupit yun. Anong tawag doon? Makapal daw ang mukha. Ayan. So, sabi ng Korte Suprema, rank and file employees who are not members of the union because they are old employees not covered by the maintenance of membership clause are covered by the CBA but are not union members. Pwede naman yun. Hindi ka member ng union pero part ka ng bargaining unit na nire-represent ng union, therefore, you have to pay agency fee. Because the contract of agency, as already mentioned in our previous discussion, under Article 1875 of the Civil Code, the contract of agency is presumed to be for consideration unless the contrary is proven or shown. Di ba? Yun. So, bayad ka ng agency fee para hindi ka lang nakikisakay. Ayan. Now, what about preferential shop agreement? A preferential shop agreement, walang kinalaman yung picture ha. Nililito ko lang yung para lang ma-break yung monotony, no? That's what you call the theory of association. Kasi minsan pagka nagsasagot na kayo sa bar exam, maalala nyo yan eh. I remember that yung mga example na binibigay ng lecturers minsan na i-connect mo doon sa topic. Kasi pagka purely text lang yan, ang hirap tandaan. Alam niyo naman, limited ang human brain eh. Unless na-utilize mo yung 10% katulad ni Einstein. 10% lang daw ng capacity ng brain ang na-utilize ni Einstein. Pero genius na. What if nadagdagan ito ng mga 11% pa? Di ba? Kaya naging 50%. Nako, malaki talaga, matindi talaga kapangyarihan ng utak ng tao, no? Kaya lang yung iba ginagamit sa masama eh. Okay? At yun ang problema natin. May araw ng mga puso pero walang araw ng mga utak. Sana lang dumating yung panahon. Araw naman ng mga utak at sana panalangin natin sa panahon ng eleksyon sa May 12. Okay? Kapag tapos na ang eleksyon at napapanood nyo ito, either masaya kayo o malungkot kayo. Diba? Okay. So in a preferential shop agreement, the employer will hire a new employee. But preference must be given to the members of the contracting union. Again, in our example, it's Union C. Sabi ng employer, hoy, Union C, ikaw ba ay merong karpintero? Kasi kailangan ko ng karpintero. Sabi ni Union si boss, wala eh. Meron kami dito, latero. Di si employer may now hire a carpenter, si Karen ba ito? Wala na yata ito eh. From, they may hire anyone who is no longer a member of the union but preference was given to the member of the union. Yan ang preferential shop agreement. So these are the common types of union security clauses. Tanong, can we compel an employee to join the union because it is in a close shop clause agreement? There's a close shop agreement, no, or clause. Dapat pag close shop, nire-require na magmiyembro. Sabi ng bagong empleyado, hindi po ako po pwedeng sumali dahil ang pagkakaalam ko sa aming relihiyon, yung ating mga pinsan sa Iglesia ni Cristo, may nabalitaan ako, hindi ko alam kung totoo, but you have to confirm or deny, hindi natin alam. Pero ang balita, hindi raw sila pinapayagan ng doktrina na sumali sa mga unyon. Ako kasi ay na doktrinahan nung high school tayo pero hindi tayo nabautismuhan. Kaya kapag tinatanong ako, kapatid ka ba? Ako hindi, pinsan lamang. Okay. So yung mga pinsan natin sa Iglesia ni Cristo, hindi daw pinapasali sa union. So hindi natin pwedeng pilitin yan. In fact, may 2 kaso dyan involving members of this religious group. Yung Victoriano versus Elizalde Rope Workers Union noong 1974. Hindi pa nag-take effect niya ng labor code. At yung Reyes versus Trajano noong 1992. Ilan yan? 18 years apart. Pareho ng desisyon na pagka ayaw sumali ng empleyado sa labor union because of religious doctrine prohibiting him from joining the organization, then he cannot be compelled. Yan ang sabi ng Korte Suprema. Why? Religious freedom is a preferred right. Kaya nga dito natin naiisip, magtayo na talaga tayo, ituloy na natin mga kapatid. At kapanalig sa pananampalataya, yung pagtatayo ng saksi ni Duca. Sumali kayo. Now, pwede bang tanggalin ang isang empleyado ng dahil lamang sa paglabag sa Union Security Clause? Ang sagot po ay pwede. Provided, according to the Supreme Court in that case of Alabang Town and Country Club, the Union Security Clause is applicable, meaning it is clear and stated in the collective bargaining agreement. Okay? Number 2, the union is requesting for the enforcement of the union security provision in the CBA. Why? It should be the union who should be more vigilant in requiring the employer to implement the Union Security Clause and comply with the provision. Kasi si employer, pag hindi kinukulit ng union ito, ayaw niya niyan. Bakit? Una, that's a limitation on his prerogative to determine who should be hired. Diba? Employer ka, may prerogative ka mamili kung sino ang i-hire mo. Pero dahil meron kang Union Security Clause, that prerogative is somehow limited. Plus, pag na-violate yung Union Security Clause, tatanggalin mo. Sino ba ang kakasuhan ng illegal dismissal? Si employer, hindi naman yung union eh. Kaya ang employer medyo hesitant siya na sumunod sa Union Security Clause. Kaya the union should be vigilant in requesting the enforcement of the Union Security Clause. Okay? And there is sufficient evidence to support the union's decision to expel the employee from the union. Ibig sabihin, may violation itong employee na ito sa mga union rules, sa Union Security Clause, meron naman tayong ebidensya. Of course, labor case tayo, so kailangan natin at least substantial evidence. Hindi ba? Yan. Okay. Now, these requisites constitute just cause. So, anong kailangan pa ni employer gawin? Mag-observe siya ng due process. Pagpaliwanagin niya yung employee. In another case, ang sabi dyan, the Union Security Clause does not apply to employees who are members of rival unions. Kasi doon sa example natin, 3 yung unions, di ba? A, B, and C. Nagkataon na si C yung majority, yung mga miyembro ng minority union are not required to leave their minority union and join the majority. Hindi ganon. Hindi katulad doon sa mga mababatas natin, na kung sino yung nakaupo, doon sila. Okay. So maliwanag, I hope we are clear on that. If you have questions, You can go to the YouTube channel and type your questions and I am answering the questions there. Ha? Pagka may oras tayo, wag lang magmamadali. Okay? So we proceed to the right to unionize and the concept of unfair labor practice. We have already discussed that every employee, whether in public or private sector, he has the right or she has the right to join, assist in the formation, or form a labor union. Okay? Because that's a constitutional right. And the employer is not allowed under Article 257 of the Labor Code to interfere with such right. Okay? Hindi siya pinapayagang makialam. Okay? Ayan. At kapag nakialam siya, we will call that unfair labor practice. Now, according to the Supreme Court as early as 1998, in the case of United Pepsi Cola Supervisory Union versus Laguesma, ito hong si Laguesma dito, yan si Secretary Benny Laguesma ng Department of Labor. Kasi nung panahon ni ERAP, siya din ang Secretary of Labor noon. Ha? Kasi magaling naman talaga ito eh. Ngayon, siya uli ang Secretary of Labor ngayon. So pagka ikaw secretary, minsan ikaw yung nadidemanda eh. Kasi ikaw yung gumagawa ng desisyon minsan, eh, di ba? So i-aapela sa iyo, magdedesisyon ka, ikaw yung public respondent. Ano? So under Article 3 Section 8 of the 1987 Constitution, as what we have already previously discussed, it is the right of every employee, whether in the public or private sectors, to form unions, associations, and societies for purposes not contrary to law and shall not be abridged. That right shall not be abridged. Kaya yung Article 257, non-abridgment of the right. Ano ba yung abridge? Tutuloy ka. Hindi po, hindi dapat labagin. Ano ba ang tawag sa Tagalog? Salangsangin ba yun? Para sa gawa ng term. Ano? However, the right guaranteed in Article 3, Section 8 is subject to the condition. And what is the only condition or limitation in unionizing? The purpose of your organization must not be contrary to law. Therefore, if the purpose of your labor organization is contrary to law, of course, that's illegal. Contrary to law nga, di ba? Ayun. That's why, when an employer, his representatives, or any person would interfere with the right of that employee to join or not to join the union, in other words, the right to self-organization, such interference is unfair labor practice. Okay? Unfortunately, the Labor Code in Article 219K gave us a very beautiful definition. Ano ba ang sabi? Unfair labor practice means any unfair labor practice as expressly defined by this code. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Aba, malay ko. Kahit ang Korte Suprema nalabuan eh. Ano sabi ng Korte Suprema? Philcom Employees Union versus Philippine Global Communication. This definition did not give us anything but a mere repetition of the same term. Inulit lang. To simplify and clarify matters according to the Supreme Court, ULP is any act of an employer. Si employer pwede his representatives and agents and any labor union, its officers and members which affect the rights of an employee to self-organization. Without that element of joining or not joining the union, please do not call it unfair labor practice. Okay? Kasi alam nyo, sometimes, in layman's term, ang unfair labor practice is any act of unfairness by the employer. Like ko example sa mga estudyante ko, baka mga estudyante ko nakikinig ngayon. Shout out sa inyo. At doon sa ating mga subscribers and members of CD Ducalo YouTube channel. Maraming salamat sa inyong patuloy na pagsusuporta at makakaasa kayo na sa darating na halalan, hindi ako kandidato. Okay? Patuloy nating i-upload. Actually, mas malaki ang gastos natin sa uploading kaysa doon sa kinikita natin. Kaya lang, that's one of my advocacy na ituro sa sambayanan for free. Doon lang naman sa gusto kasi mahirap naman pilitin yung ayaw. Pag ayaw at pinilit mo, masasaktan ka lang. Di ba? Doon lang sa gustong matuto ng kaalaman na hindi fake news. Kaya kung may time kayo, pwede nyo panoorin, pwede rin kayong mag-share, pwede rin kayong magtanong doon at sinasagot natin yung mga katanungan. At in fact, marami nagpapasalamat kasi nakakapasa raw sila doon sa CHRA. May ganun pala, nagulat ako kung ano yun. Ang dami. Ha? Na pumapasa sila doon sa Certificate of Human Resources Associate. May ganun pala. Abay, mahirap maging associate. Bakit? Aso ka na, shit ka pa. Hindi, joke lang mo yan. Okay? So, dalawang employees. Si Peter and si Mary. Pasensya sa mga pangalan na ayoko lang kasi ng mga letter A, B, and C. No? Pangalanan natin para it will humanize our example. Okay? O, si Peter and Mary. Empleyado ni Mr. Ang. Okay? Ayan naman ang mga employer sa Pilipinas. May iksi ang apelyido eh. O, kung nagkataon lang, at mayayaman yan ha? Kung nagkataon lang siguro na 3 lang yung letra ng apelyido ko, eh di mayaman din sana ako. Kaso naging 4 eh. Di ba? Oh, paiksian ng letra sa apelyido, pakuntian, payamanan yun. Tingnan mo yung 2 lang, C. Oh, di ba? Oh, mayaman yan. O pagka tan, abay, yung mayaman pa rin, pero kulang ng konti. Eh, naging 4. Ako, delikado na. Okay. So, Peter and Mary are both employees of Mr. Ang. Every day, Mr. Ang would give Peter free lunch. But Mary is not given the same privilege of having a free lunch from Mr. Ang. Oh, is that unfair? Yes, that may be unfair. Is that a labor practice? Yes. But can we consider that unfair labor practice? By itself, do not judge immediately that it is ULP. It might be unfair. It might be in the labor sector. But please do not immediately judge that is unfair labor practice. Why? You take a look at the reason for that treatment. If the only reason why Peter has free lunch is because crush siya ni Mr. Ang, ha? At si Mary ay wala kasi nai-imbiar na si Mr. Ang sa beauty niya, it might be unfair but it's not unfair labor practice. Personal preference niya yun eh. Diba? That might be discriminatory. Pero may dahilan siya. Ay management prerogative yan eh. Diba? O generosity niya yun eh. Nababaitan siya siguro kay Peter kaya binibigyan niya ng freelance. Kasi pag inutusan niya si Peter, hindi nagrereklamo. Si Maria, pag inutusan mo, panay ang reklamo at tatanungin ka pa, kasama ba yan sa aking job description? Oh. Eh di syempre, pag mabait ka, may magiging mabait din sa'yo. Kaya nga, when you become lawyers, huwag i-assert na todo-todo ang pagiging abogado at magiging masungit na. Ha? Kailangan maging mabait pa rin sa kapwa. Okay? Because being a lawyer is just a title. Hindi natin madadala yan kapag pumanaw na tayo at pupunta tayo dun sa undiscovered country. Oh, wala pa nakadiscover niyan at nagbalik na sinabing ganito talaga itsura niyan. Okay? So kaya maging mabait. Kasi sobrang init sa Pilipinas. Kung dito hindi natin matagalan ng init, eh di lalo na sa pupuntahan ng hindi mga mababait, ano? Oh, baka mas mainit lalo doon. Oh, yan. Eh kaso, sabi nung estudyante ko, sir, okay na rin yan na sobrang init sa Pilipinas para sanay na tayo pagpunta natin doon. Abay, hindi na tayo maninibago. Ano, mainit na talaga eh. Okay. Ngayon, can that also be considered unfair labor practice? Yes, we can consider that. If baguhin natin ng konti yung facts, ang dahilan pala kaya binibigyan ng freelance itong si Peter is because he is not a member of the union. At si Mary naman, kaya hindi binibigyan ng freelance because she's a member of the union. Oh, to dissuade Peter from joining the union, may freelance ka. Pero pag sumali ka sa union, wala ka ng freelance. That is now unfair labor practice. So, tandaan ha, acts that violate the workers' right to organize is the most important, in fact, it's the only element of unfair labor practice. Without that element, no matter how unfair, please do not consider that unfair labor practice. Clear? Very good. Okay? So, yan ang sinasabi ng Korte Suprema as early as 2006 that unfair labor practice refers to acts that violate the workers' right to organize. The prohibited acts are related to the workers' right to self-organization, without the element, no matter how unfair, it's not unfair labor practice. Okay? So maliwanag tayo dyan, ha? Ngayon, in the case of Adamson University Faculty Union, unfair labor practices are violative of the constitutional right of the workers to self-organize. So kaya ang bottom line dito mga kapatid at kapanalig sa pananampalataya, yung ginagawa ba ni employer, ng kanyang representatives ng union, ng officers ng union, ng mga miyembro ng union o ng sino man, ay apektado yung karapatan ng empleyado to join or not to join the union. Without such element, it's not unfair labor practice. Okay? And according to the Supreme Court in that same case of Adamson University Faculty Union, we look at the totality test. Tingnan mo yung kabuuan. Katulad nga ng example ko sa inyo kanina, kaya naman pala may freelance kasi gusto niya lang, di ba? Nababaitan lang siya. Walang kinalaman sa pagsali sa union. Hindi unfair labor practice yon. But for laymen, meaning those who did not study labor law like you do, ay unfair labor practice yon. Very common yan sa mga laymen eh. Kaya nga sinasabi nitong si Alexander Pope, buti pa yung Roma, malapit na magkapapa. Ikaw, may papa ka ba? Di ba? Papabili daw. Papabili, edi papasabay na lang. Okay. Ganito yan. Little learning is a dangerous thing. Yan ang sinasabi ni Alexander Pope. Ito yung tanging Pope na hindi umupo sa Vatican. Bakit? Hindi naman siya pari. Siya ay poet. From Ireland ba o from England? Basta, bahala na yung mga English major sa inyo. Yung nag-major ng literature. That little learning is a dangerous thing. Totoo naman. Mas mahirap kausap yung tao na nagmamagaling, na hindi naman talaga nakapag-aral, na-graduate lamang doon sa Facebook University School of Law at saka sa Google University of Law, University of Google College of Law. Marami yan. Okay? At sila pa yung matatapang. At kumbinsido sila na tama sila. Ganyan minsan pagka nagta-taxi tayo Diba? Ito mga taxi drivers na ito, mga opinionated talaga yan kasi araw-araw nakikinig sila sa radyo At may radyo yan. At alam niyo naman kung ano pinapakinggan. Yung highest court of the land. Yung RTC, Rapid Tulfo Court. Yan ang pinapakinggan. So, feeling nila, alam na nila yung batas Ako, pagka ganyan, hindi ako nakikipagdebate, sinasakyan ko lang. Pero pag mali ang sinasabi, ay ina-insist ko kasi ganito yan, hindi ganyan na nakalagay sa batas. And then magtatanong, abogado ba kayo? Ako, oo. Doon mananahimik na yan. Di ba? Ganun kasi, no? Na, yan ang sinasabi daw ni Albert Einstein. Sino ba ito si Einstein? Of course, kilala niyo siya. Sabi niya, light travels faster than sound. Tama naman. That's a scientifically proven fact. That light travels faster than sound. Ano naman yan sa tao? That's the reason why some people appear bright. Diba? Tingin mo, matalino to. Until you hear them speak. Pakinggan mo muna. May laman ba yung sinasabi niya? Okay? So you look at the totality test. Huwag masyadong judgmental. Now, when a union officer is dismissed, that's unfair labor practice. In fact, it is the worst form of unfair labor practice. Anong tawag doon? It's called union busting. Dismissal of the union officer. But according to the Supreme Court through the pen of Justice Leonen, a dismissal of a union officer is not necessarily discriminatory, especially when that officer committed an act of misconduct. Babalikan natin ito. Diniscusan natin ito previously, di ba? Yung teacher, minumura yung mga estudyante niya. College teacher ito. According to the school, that's a ground for dismissal. That's serious misconduct. And the Supreme Court agreed with the school that, in fact, union officers are held to a higher standards. Kung dinismiss mo yung union officer simply because he or she is a union officer, then that's unfair labor practice. That's union busting. But you dismiss a union officer because he committed an act of misconduct, that's not unfair labor practice. That's management prerogative and it is a valid exercise of the management right to discipline its employees. Okay? Maliwanag tayo. So what are the aspects of unfair labor practice? You have civil aspect. Yung civil aspect na ito, basically administrative. Doon yan kay labor arbiter. But there's also a criminal aspect of unfair labor practice. So, ang civil aspect, ang standard or quantum of proof is substantial evidence. It's like any other administrative case, di ba? So, it's the labor arbiter under Article 224 of our labor code. Now, in order to file, of course, the prescription period is 1 year, ano? In order to file a case criminally for unfair labor practice, yan ang sabi ng Korte Suprema in that case of Adamson University, the labor arbiter shall give utmost priority to the hearing and resolution of all cases of unfair labor practice. 30 days daw yan from the time they are submitted for decision. Of course, dadaan pa yan sa proseso, ano? Ngayon, bago ka makapag-file ng criminal case for unfair labor practice, there must first be a finding by the labor arbiter that indeed unfair labor practice was committed by the respondent. Without such finding of the labor arbiter, the criminal case cannot be instituted. So, kailangan may findings muna si arbiter. O sige, the employer, for example, committed acts of unfair labor practice. Pag gusto mo siyang ipakulong, criminal case yan eh. Mag-file ka. Nasaan ngayon ipafile yan? Syempre, ipafile mo ito doon sa first level court. Bakit first level court? Di ba sa criminal procedure, the jurisdiction of the court is determined by the penalty of imprisonment. So, above 6 years imprisonment, you have the second level, RTC. 6 years and below, that's the first level court. Ano ba ang parusa dito sa criminal aspect ng unfair labor practice? Nandun sa Article 303 ng Labor Code. Ang kailangan nyo dito, proof beyond reasonable doubt. Why? Criminal case ito eh. Ang imprisonment yan, 3 months to 3 years. Sino may jurisdiction? Under the rules of criminal procedure, it is the first level court. Of course, kung direct filing, dadali mo kay fiscal yan. Di ba? Ngayon, binding ba sa korte yung findings ni labor arbiter? No, it's not. It's only a condition precedent for the criminal case to prosper. But remember, the quantum of proof is different. It's substantial evidence in the labor arbiter's level, but insofar as the court is concerned, that's a criminal case, it's proof beyond reasonable doubt. Of course, 1 year din ang prescription period. Okay? Now, what are the unfair labor practices that may be committed by the employers? 1, when the employer interferes, restrains, or coerces an employee to join or not to join a union. Okay, that's Article 259. Nakikialam siya. Hindi ka dapat nakikialam. Ika nga, bystander ka lang. That's true in all cases na hindi nakikialam si employer sa pagsali o hindi pagsali ng employee sa isang union. May mga employers na para ma-hire ka, papipirmahin ka sa isang kontrata. Hindi ako sasali sa union. At kung kasali na ako sa union, aalis ako sa union para lang mabigyan mo ako ng trabaho. That's yellow dog contract. That's a void undertaking. Why? Teka muna, linawin natin. Bakit yellow? Talaga may problema ang mga dilawan. Utila, hindi ako nakadilaw. Baka ako saan tayong dilawan. At bakit dog? Kasi daw lagi nauuntog. Yan ba yung hayop na lagi nauuntog? Dog. Hindi naman siguro. Bakit yellow? Kasi po, ang yellow ay color daw of sunshine, of hope, and happiness. Kaya lang may conflicting association. On one hand, fresh siya, happy siya. But on the other hand, ito daw ay representation of cowardice and deceit. Kaya pala kulay yellow yung mga taong traidor sa bayan. Okay? ay dull or then yellow, may represent caution, sickness, or even jealousy. Kaya nga, di ba yung merong jaundice? Hindi jaundice, ah. Jaundice yung merong sakit sa atay, naninilaw. O kaya yung yellow, ano yan, neither hot nor cold. Ito yung sinasabi doon sa Book of Revelations, ano? To the Church of Ephesus. Ephesus nga ba yan? Sorry, hindi masyadong sa ulado. Hmm. You are neither hot nor cold. Therefore, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Amen. Hindi, joke lang. Di ba? O, yan yung yellow. Bakit dog? Kasi, no matter how ferocious the dog is, if you give him food, babait yan eh. And that's the reason why, yung mga handlers ng canine, ay hindi pinapayagan na pakainin ng iba yung dog nila. O, sila lang talaga nagpapakain yan. At minsan, habang pinapakain nila, nagtatanong ngayon itong handler, bakit ba palagi na lang canine? Sabi naman nung kanyang commanding officer, pabayaan mo na canine kasi aso yan. Pag K10, pusa na yan. O, di ba? Hindi naman po pwede mang-amoy yung K10. Dapat K9. Okay? O, puntahan natin yung company unionism. Company unionism is another form of unfair labor practice under Article 259D. It prohibits the employer from initiating, dominating, assisting, or otherwise interfering with the formation or administration of any labor union. Well, yung mag-organize ng union yung employer, obvious yan. Yellow union, ang tawag yan, or company union, inorganize ng employer. Diyos ko naman, makikipag-bargain sa'yo tapos ikaw din na nag-organize. Tingnan nyo naman yung absurdity of that situation, hindi ba? Oh, under the International Labor Organization Convention 98, Article 2, bawal yung company unionism as it violates the law on labor internationally. Di ba? Kaya ang ginagawa dito ngayon ng employer, hindi siya magtatayo ng union. Pero gusto niya pa rin ma-impluwensyahan, tatanungin niya pag may certification election, sino dyan ang madaling kausap? Sabi nung kanyang HR manager, boss, yung presidente ng Union A, lasingin mo lang yan, madaling kausap yan. O sige, suportahan natin yan. Of course, hindi niya ipapaalam. Anong purpose nun? Pag nanalo yung Union A at alam ni Union A na suportado siya ni employer, makakahirit pa ba yan? Hindi na. Kung ano sabihin ni employer, susunod na lang yan. Bakit? Hawak ka sa liig. Okay? And then, you have pay negotiation. Bawal na bawal during the bargaining, itong si employer magbayad doon sa mga negotiators. Kasi alam nyo, sa actual bargaining, tagal-tagal na tayong hindi na uma-attend ng collective bargaining tawag dito, sessions, no? Collective bargaining, nasa table. On one side, yung employer. Kung sino man ang gusto representative ng employer. Normally, yung presidente ng kumpanya, di mo uma-attend dyan. Yung HR manager, kasi for discipline of employees, yung chief financial officer, di ba? At kung sino man. So, mga 3, 4 yan. Kung may abogado, nandun yung abogado. On the part of the union, syempre, yung presidente ng union, yan ang tagapagsalita nila unless may iba pang speaker yan. Spokesperson. And then, vice president, pwedeng oo, pwedeng hindi. Kasi, katulad ng constitution natin, ang vice president, wala naman talagang trabaho eh. Isa lang ang trabaho ng Vice President ng Pilipinas, regardless kung sino pang Vice President yan. Ano ang trabaho niya? Manalangin yan gabi-gabi na kinabukasan. Huwag masamang iniisip. Maganda na ang bayan. Okay? So magmula pa nung panahon ni Marcos yung tatay, hanggang ngayong Marcos na naman, hindi na natapos ang Marcos. Di ba? Iba naman. Bagay, doble-doble sila eh. Dalawa yung makapagal. Di ba? Kapagal, Arroyo nga lang yung isa. Dalawa yung Aquino. Dalawa na rin yung Marcos. Magiging dalawa ba yung Duterte? Naku po. Kayo nang bahalang humusga. Diba? You shall know them by their fruits. A good tree cannot bring forth bad fruits. Neither can a bad tree bring forth good fruits. Yan ang sinasabi sa Ebanghelyo ayon kay San Mateo. Amen? Don't worry, wala tayong kukolektahing love offering. Ganito yan. So, yung Vice President pwedeng umattend o hindi. Yung siyempre, yung secretary, siya magkukuha ng minutes, ano? Unless may AI kayo na taga-kuha at taga-transcribe. Tapos, yung treasurer, kasi siya nakakaalam ng finances, at yung auditor. O, kung may abogado rin. Minsan, well, na-experience ko yung one time eh. Nung matapos na, nagkapirmahan na, iba pa yung signing bonus kasi signing bonus, everybody gets it. Yung employer, ha, yung representative, natuwa, nag-offer ng envelope. Sabi ko, nalaman nun ito. Eh, konting pabaon daw. Naku, sabi ko, hindi ho po pwede. Bawal po yan. Eh di nagkatinginan yung mga opisyal ng union, so hindi rin nila tinanggap. Bakit? Eh, may 10,000 palang laman. Oh, bawal yun. Ang tawag dyan, paid negotiation. Eh, at the back of my mind, sabi ko, sayang yung 10,000. Pero, hindi natin po pwedeng kunin yun eh. Kasi, pinagbabawal ng batas. Tandaan nyo, ang taong mahilig sa lusot, abogado man o hindi, malapit sa gusot. Ha? Kaya doon lang tayo sa diretso. Ha? Tuwid na daan. Tuwid na daan pero lumiliko sa dulo. Delikado yan. Okay? So, bawal yung paid negotiation. The employer must not pay the negotiators. Now, what about refusal to bargain with the union? Well, outright, that's unfair labor practice. Ayaw mo makipag-bargain. That's your duty. Oh, to sit down and bargain with the union. Kaya nga, ayon sa pag-aaral sa Amerika, kung tama yung aking statistics, 95% ng mga employers daw ayaw ng union. Bakit 95 lang? Ano yung 5%? Yun yung mga union busters. Why? You know the concept, di ba? Pagka may union ka, nagsasama-sama yung mga tao na organize sila para sila mga tingting. Na pag hindi mo binigkis, walang mangyayaring mababali yung tingting na walang silbihan. Kahit pantusok ng banana Q, hindi po pwede yan. Tingting lang yan eh. Pero pag pinagsama-sama mo, binigkis yan na nagkakaisang layunin na umunlad sa buhay, ay magiging walis at makakapanlinis at minsan nakakapanakit yung walis, di ba? Yan ang pamalo ng nanay ko sa akin noon eh. Yung walis tingting. Pag hindi ako pinapakain ng sili, pinapalo ako ng walis tingting. But I did not resent that. No? Why? Training daw yun eh. Ano sabi ni King Solomon, Proverbs 22 verse 6, train up the child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he shall not depart from it. Okay? So kaya yan siguro ang itinuturo ng mga boomer na dahilan kung bakit yung mga kabataan ngayon ay mahina daw ang pundasyon, mahina ang disiplina, mahina ang resolve kasi hindi dumaan sa palo. Kasi naman maraming pag-aaral na yung physical punishment, ang tawag nila dyan ay corporal punishment. From the Latin word corpus, meaning body. Corporal punishment develops bitterness. The child will be bitter. Mapait, at hindi better. Okay? Maganda sana kung better. Di ba? Everybody is better. Bakit better lang? Di ba? Dapat best. Okay? Wala ko pinapatong ko lang kung sino, ha? Ngayon, so, um, pag ayaw makipag-bargain, hindi po pwede yung kasabi ng pag ayaw, huwag mong pilitin. Dito kailangan pilitin natin. Kasi if the employer refuses to bargain with the union, that's unfair labor practice. Okay? At ito na po ang tinatawag na runaway shop. Runaway shop, iba yung running man, ha? As it is written, an employer moves the business to another location. Inililipat niya in order to run away from union obligation. Okay? Ayaw niya makipag-bargain. Oh. Ayaw niya makipag-bargain dun sa union. Kaya, nililipat niya yung kanyang shop. Kaya ang tawag runaway shop. Okay? So, paano yon? Di mo naman pwedeng buhatin yung pabrika eh. Let's say, for example, dito sa Metro Manila, saan ba maraming industry? So, bandang Valenzuela, no? Kung may mga taga Valenzuela sa inyo, alam ko doon sa General Luis Street, doon ako dumadaan ng college eh. General Luis Street, ang dami dyan mga pabrika. Hanggang doon sa bandang Novaliches, Quezon City. Yung mga pabrika. Tapos, nakita nitong si employer na yung mga empleyado niya dito sa kanyang pabrika, sa Novaliches, ay malapit na mag-strike. Okay? Eh meron pala siyang branch doon sa Bulacan. Malapit lang naman ang Bulacan, walking distance, from Novaliches. Ililipat niya doon yung kanyang operasyon para mag-strike man dito sa kanyang planta. Pag sinabing planta, ito yung planta, hindi yung pananim. Sa Novaliches, tuloy yung operation niya doon sa Bulacan. So walang epekto yung strike. That's what you call runaway shop. Okay? Now, another form of runaway shop ay yung inililipat niya para makaiwas siya sa mataas na mga benepisyo. Sa Amerika natin kinopya yan eh. Kasi in the US, in the States, laws are different in every state. Why? Hindi centralized yung batas nila eh. Kasi yung kanilang mga states ay merong autonomy from the federal government. So let's say for example, dun sa lugar na maraming Pilipino at maraming nalungkot dahil natalo ang LA, ang California. Di ba? Mahal ang benepisyo ng mga manggagawa. Ang gagawin nitong si employer, namamahalan na siya, ililipat niya dun sa mas mababa ang benepisyo, although mas mataas, sa Colorado, sa Denver. O dun siya mag-ooperate. Mas mababa ang sweldo ng empleyado. In the Philippines, we cannot do that because laws in the Philippines pertaining to labor and everything are the same from Batanes to Tawi-Tawi. Di ba? Ayan. Except yung minimum wage. Kasi ang minimum wage natin is dependent on your region because the one that fixes the minimum wage is the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board or the Regional Wage Board. Maliwanag, ha? Kaya sa Metro Manila, for 645. But you go to other regions of the country. Yung pinakamalapit na probinsya sa Metro Manila, yung Rizal. Kasi halos lahat ng mga except Valenzuela, no? Lahat ng ito, Valenzuela, Quezon City at Manila, all of these places in Metro Manila were once upon a time part of Rizal Province. Ginawa lang ito ni Marcos ng Presidential Decree 825 ba yun? Kung tama yung pagkakatanda ko. In 1976 or 75, ginawa yung Metro Manila Commission. So kaya doon nagsimula yung Metro Manila. At nung panahon ni Cory, nagkaroon ng Metro Manila Development Authority. Si Tito Soto pa yata ang author ng MMDA law, which according to the Supreme Court, the law did not give MMDA police power. So walang police power ang MMDA. Okay? Now, ang runaway shop na ito, iniiwasan ni employer yung mataas na benepisyo sa isang lugar, lilipat siya sa ibang lugar. That's unfair labor practice. Now, what about blue sky bargaining? Don't worry, itong mga terminologies na ito, kung magkakatotoo, yung sinasabi ng mga chairman ng chair, para maging gender sensitive, ng bar examination, ay walang mga ganitong tanong na what is blue sky bargaining, what is yellow dog contract, although may nagpapasalamat dun sa YouTube channel dahil nasagot niya daw yung yellow dog contract dun sa CHRA exam. Di mabuti. Congratulations, Baka naman. Okay. So blue sky bargaining is the act of making exaggerated or unreasonable proposal. Bakit nga ba blue sky? You look at the sky if it is summertime. When it is blue, it's very high. Diba? Pero pag dumating na yung 1st of May, tawag ng nanay ko dyan ay Agua de Mayo. Pag umulan, agua means water, umulan ng Mayo, di cloudy, o di mababa yung sky. So blue sky bargaining, hindi kalaban ng Skyflex, is the act of making exaggerated. Parehong pwedeng guilty for blue sky bargaining yan eh. Si Union, sabi niya, boss, yung 645, pwede ba gawin mo 1,000 pesos? Di ba? Si employer naman, yung 8 hours, gawin nating 9 hours pero walang overtime pay. Blue sky bargaining yan. Okay? Ano naman ang katumbas nito kay employer? Ito naman yung tinatawag na bulwarism. Galing ito doon kay Lemuel Boulware. Kung nakikita nyo sa inyong screen, yung libro, no? The Truth About Bulwarism. Ito raw ay galing kay Lemuel Boulware. na siya ay dating Vice President ng General Electric sa Kentucky, sa USA. Every time the employees would ask for something, ang sasabihin niya, this is the best and last offer I could give you. Take it or leave it. Okay? So take it or leave it stand by the employer is known as bulwarism. Okay? O, sabi ng employer, ang gusto nyo, 1,000. O sige, bigyan ko kayong additional 10 pesos. Take it or leave it. That's also unfair labor practice. Okay? Now, when the employer and the union go through the process of bargaining, but they do not intend to arrive at a good collective bargaining agreement, they just go through the process. That's surface bargaining. Also known as bad faith bargaining. That's opposite the good faith bargaining. Bakit? Para itong nakasakay ka sa rocking chair. You keep on moving, but you are getting nowhere. Di ba? May mga taong ganyan, in bad faith. Parang Ferris wheel ang dating. Akala mo pinapaligaya ka. Yung pala pinapaikot-ikot ka lang, wala kayong patutunguhan. Okay? Maliwanag. Now, on the other hand, the labor union can also commit unfair labor practice. What are these acts? Under Article 260, to restrain or coerce an employee in the exercise of the right to self-organization. Pinagbabawalan, huwag kang sasali sa amin or sa amin ka lang sasali. Di ba? That's unfair labor practice on the part of the labor union. 2, to cause or attempt to cause an employer to discriminate against an employee. O boss, hindi namin member yan. Pwede ba i-assign mo yan sa graveyard shift? Ano yung graveyard shift? Yan yung third shift, no? Kasi 24 hours, hatiin mo sa tatlo, you have 8 hours per shift. Of course, meron kang 1 hour break. Ngayon, yung 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., kung napapansin ninyo doon sa Article 96 of your Labor Code, ano? Service in, tawag dito, night shift differential pay. Na kapag ka ikaw ay na-assign doon sa 10 p.m. up to 6 a.m. na trabaho, 8 hours din naman yan, meron kang additional 10% ang tawag night shift differential pay. Bakit? Graveyard shift daw ang tawag. Tataka ako, bakit graveyard? Wala naman naglilibing sa panahon na yan. Maaari sigurong sila ay naglilibing sa panahon na at umaga, tanghali, hapon, pero hating gabi. Bakit ba naging graveyard kasi yan? Ang sagot dyan, noong unang panahon, during the Black Plague sa Europe, yung marami namamatay. Yung modern version niya, yung COVID. Yung mga namatay, hinahakot, nire-retrieve during this time para hindi masyadong gross at hindi masyadong nakakakilabot na pag napakarami namamatay. Yun. Kaya yun at dinadala doon sa sementeryo. So yun yung mga oras na yan tinatawag ng graveyard shift. When the grave diggers, tawag natin doon si Paul Torero, kukunin yung mga patay at doon ililibing sa panahon na yan. Okay? Now, that's discrimination. And that could be unfair labor practice. The union may also refuse to bargain collectively with the employer. Nagtataka ako dito, pero may mga union yatang ganyan. Anong dahilan? Binayaran kaya ayaw makipag-usap. Di ba? I remember my elder brother. 13 kasi kayo magkakapatid. 11 lang kaming lalaki. 2 lang yung babae. Pareho nang namayapa. So, labor leader ito nung high school ako. Tatrabaho sa isang factory sa Quezon City. Pag uwi, galit na galit. Namumula. Sabi ko, bakit? Sabi niya, binenta kami nung aming union. Hindi ko naman naintindihan kung paano binenta. Now I realize, kaya pala, nagpabayad yung mga opisyal. Nung binayaran na itong mga opisyal ng union, ayaw na makipag-bargain. Diba? Ano ba ang purpose ng bargaining? Para tumaas ang benepisyo. That's unfair labor practice. Now, sometimes the union may cause or attempt to cause an employer to pay or deliver or agree to pay or deliver any money or things of value in the nature of exaction for services which are not performed or not to be performed. Diba? Sometimes, nasabihin nung, ito, like ko example sa mga estudyante ko, no? Kailangan ng pinturahan yung building. Sabi ng union boss, kami na magpintura niyan, bayaran mo kami during our rest day. Kasi may rest day naman yan, di ba? So mag-rotation sila kung kailang rest day, magpipintura. Binayaran na. After a month, wala namang napinturahan. That's feather bedding. Okay? Now, ang problema, nagbayad na eh. So, pangingikil. Exaction ang tawag. But when the union would perform the task naman, ang usapan nila ay pipinturahan ng blue, pero pininturahan ng pusya, sabi ng employer, anak ng pusya naman, din naman pusya ang usapan natin eh. Ang usapan natin blue. Ba't o pininturahan ng pusya? Is that feather bedding? Hindi. That's not feather bedding for as long as work is done. No matter how trivial, that's not feather bedding. Okay? O, ngayon, there's another concept of feather bedding. Saan ba nagsimula itong feather bedding na ito? Feather bedding was a concept during the American colonial period. Anong panahon na wala pang mga kutsyon, wala pang cotton, ang upuan nila matigas, kahoy. Pinuputol na yung mga kahoy, nagagalit sa kanila yung mga native na tinawag ni Columbus ng mga Indian. Pero hindi dapat Indian yan, mga sila ang mga native dyan sa Novos Mundos eh. Ang problema kasi natin, ang mga nakasulat na kasaysayan ang nagsulat yung mga colonizer. Di ba? Kaya nga for the longest time, ang Pilipinas was discovered by Magellan. In the eyes of the Europeans, maaring may punto sila. Pero matagal na nag-i-exist ang Pilipinas eh. Pati nga yung pangalang Pilipinas, di ba? Taken from King Philip II, kaya Pilipinas. Kaya tayo Pilipino. Ngayon, ano nangyari? Pagka pumapatay sila nung kanilang mga turkey, yung turkey, hindi na turkey ngayon ayaw nila kasi yun daw ay ibon. Turkey. Yung turkey na pinapatay nila pagka Thanksgiving, di tinatanggal yung mga feathers. Patutuyuin yan. Ilalagay yan dun sa ibabaw ng upuan o ng bed nila, lalagyan ng cloth, ay di mas komportable nga naman ang buhay. So that's feather bedding. Okay? Another form of feather bedding, that's the origin. Another form of feather bedding, ito, i-require ng union si employer na mag-hire ng mas maraming employees. Di ba redundant yun? Oo. Kaya lang yun ang demand ng union kasi mas marami ang trabahador, mas konti ang trabaho, mas hayahay ang buhay. Di ba? That's feather bedding, ladies and gentlemen. Kasi meron ka dong superfluity as what we have already discussed. Kaya lang yun ang request ng union. So that may be unfair labor practice and we call it feather bedding. Ayun. Sometimes the union would accept negotiation or attorney's fees. Yung nagpapabayad. Anong kapalit nito? Ang kapalit niyan ay kontrata na mas mababa kaysa inaasahan. They call that sweetheart's contract. Walang kinalaman yung picture. Although heart yata ito, di ko lang alam kung sweet. Mukha namang sweet si at kay SP. Sino ba SP? Senate President kayo naman. Diba? Yung sweetheart's contract, mababa ang benepisyo pero na sweet talk si union eh. Bakit siya pumayag? Kasi nabayaran. And that's the reason why pinagbabawal yung pagtanggap ng bayad galing sa employer, yung negotiation fee. Diba? So on the part of the employer, on the part of the union, accepting negotiation fee or giving negotiation fee is an act of unfair labor practice. Nasa Pilipinas tayo, kung anong bawal, yun ang talagang ginagawa eh.